Hey everybody, this is Perch. This little story that kind of flew under the radar a bit. But I've been talking about comics need distribution. Comics need to be other places. I still believe, and I read a lot of the comments on the, distribution or fixing the content. It is interesting. It was kind of broken or broke down 50-50. The people who argue for the content still, it was funny. Nobody addressed the core topic of, hey, but there are some good comics in the comic shop. Why don't those sell better? If the goal is to make content, if the goal is content is the problem, you got to fix that, and then sales will go up. Why are those comics dragging ass like everything else? And nobody addressed that. So please, somebody do. The closest I got was, hey, some of the good comics getting weighed down by the bad comics, and I just that doesn't hold water. That doesn't make sense. But anyway, I've been pushing this. Comics need more distribution, and they do. And in many cases, the manga argument works very well here. Manga found heavy distribution channels before, and it was before people knew that was going to be super popular. Now there was definitely a rise in popularity, and it was popular in Japan, but stuff was getting into Target and Barnes and Noble and those places super early, and it did that intentionally. It helped grow the popularity, helped create that second bump of success. You got to get the distribution up. Now, like I said in the original video, yes, you also have to make the content match the mass market. If you don't do that, you will get heavy distribution, but you'll have a lot of unsellable things, and that distribution will go away. So you do have to fixing the content is tough, because when people say, often on this channel, for example, and other video channels, when they say fix the content, what they mean 9 times out of 10 is return to a 90s style of storytelling with those artists and those creators and that material. The reality is, if you want to sell to the mass market, you're going to have to find more genres. You're going to have to get into more things. Again, just like manga does. Yes, manga has superhero stuff, has the BL genre, has slice of life, has cooking, has all kinds of crazy crap. That's has family type books. Spy X Family is great. It's got horror. You're going to have to do that too, because if you're going to go to the mass market, fixing the content, you fix the distribution, fixing the content means you're also going to have to appeal to a wider audience, wider than the people who often comment on videos and make YouTube videos. They have one specific genre they're after. That's great. You should do that well, but you're going to have to do more than just that. Anyway, as I talk about, increasing places comics are at, I admit I didn't see this one coming. So this is Valiant, who they have decided to, fix a distribution problem by telling stories on sneakers. You heard that correctly. So the press release: the Valiant community will soon be able to take their passion to the streets. How many people are in the Valiant community? I'm just throwing that out there. Like, this feels like a very small mob of people taken to the streets. But anyway, the Valiant community will soon be able to take their passion to the streets with a new line of original sneakers inspired by the Valiant universe. Valiant Entertainment is proud to announce a debut line of limited collectible sneakers pulled out of the Valiant universe in a brand new partnership with Blanks, a lifestyle apparel brand focusing on telling stories on sneakers. Now, to be 100% clear, they're not actually telling stories on the sneakers. They're not. There's not like panels there. There's there's more to it. So Valiant and Blanks teaming up for a line of sneakers featuring iconic and fan favorite characters of the Valiant universe means dedicated fans everywhere. Again, how many are? I mean, I'm not throwing shade. Well, yes, I am. I guess. I mean, good for Valiant, but there's not that many. There's not that many. How many fans are we talking about? Anyway. Sorry, it becomes a niche of a niche. I mean, comic books are largely a niche audience. Valiant as a segment of comics is a niche audience. And now we're talking about people who would buy comic-themed sneakers. And I think, how many people are we down to now? I would love to see that target market. Anyway, the first pair to kick off the entire line of shoes will be the Mohawk-sporting voodoo priestess herself, Punk Mambo. Each collection will be limited, so be sure to pre-order so you don't miss your chance to own these highly collectible sneakers. I know what you're saying. Anyway. I appreciate and like the idea of something new. That's cool. I think that that's it's great that we're trying new ways to get comics into the hands of people. I think that that's very exciting. Um, I don't know that shoes are going to be the way to do it. I mean, the challenge that comics has is it needs to get into to mass market pop culture, and it is doing that through movies. The relationship to the Avengers and to a lot of the Marvel characters, a lot of DC characters are through the movies. Maybe through some Netflix shows in some cases, through Disney Plus. That's the relationship people have to these characters. Where they don't have the relationship is through the comics. And increasingly, that's a problem because the source material has fewer people bringing in. In fact, in many cases, I remember talking about this a long time ago. Shows like The Big Bang Theory and places like that have consistently portrayed comic books as complete nerd bait. You got these comic shops full of completely autistic morons, and that's what comics are. There's very little kind of reverence to comics. The only time I think comics is presented in a really good light is every now and then they will have the comic, but it's always in a flashback. It's like, meanwhile, back in the '50s, and it's like some kids show up and they found a comic book that somehow unlocks a portal to a magical realm or some kind of stuff like that, and that's it. That's pretty much all the marketing comics are getting these days is through vague flashbacks and completely nerdy hellscape TV shows that do their best to portray comics in a not even borderline, kind of offensive nerd bait kind of light. So they've got to bring people back in. I mean, sneakers, themed sneakers. It's hard to wrap my head around that as going to be successful for anything. I appreciate the effort. I think it's new, it's creative. That's something. But I don't see it. I don't know. Are you going to buy Valiant sneakers? I yeah. I don't. I don't. I don't know. It's weird to see Valiant. I guess the part that's kind of tripping me up a little bit is Valiant as a company has not had the best press lately. I mean, there's not a lot going on in the Valiant universe, and we haven't even heard from them in quite a while. And they pop back up with hey, we are good news. We're making sneakers with our characters on them. I don't know. It was. I think they need to do some serious marketing for themselves, and starting with sneakers is it's a way to go. Anyway, are you buying these? How much help does this bring? A company like Valiant that's trying to figure out how to find its way. They're trying to figure out where to sell their comics, how to get a business, how to get attention, how to get promotion for their stuff. Um, how helpful do you think this is? Let me know in the comments below, and thanks for listening.